Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Before we begin this emotional and mysterious story, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another amazing story like this one. Tonight's story is not just about fear. It is about love, betrayal, secrets, and a family trapped inside a nightmare they never expected. Everything started in a quiet town in the United States. A young boy named Daniel lived near an old abandoned house that everyone in the neighborhood feared. People said strange things happened there at night. Some claimed they heard crying sounds, while others believed someone disappeared inside that house many years ago. Daniel never believed those stories. One rainy evening, while returning home from work, Daniel noticed a young girl standing alone in the middle of the road. She looked terrified. Her clothes were wet from the rain, and tears rolled down her cheeks. Daniel slowly stopped his car and stepped outside. "Are you okay?" he asked softly. The little girl looked at him with frightened eyes and whispered, "Please, don't let them find me." Daniel became confused. "Who?" he asked. But before she could answer, a loud thunderstorm shook the sky. The girl suddenly grabbed Daniel's hand tightly and pointed toward the dark forest near the road. "They are watching," she whispered. Daniel looked around, but there was nobody there. Feeling sorry for her, he decided to take her home safely. On the way, the girl stayed silent. She only kept staring outside the window nervously. Every time another car passed by, she looked scared. Daniel finally asked her name. "My name is Emily," she answered quietly. "Where are your parents?" Daniel asked. Emily lowered her head. "My mother is looking for me," she said. "But she doesn't know the truth." Daniel felt something strange in her words. When they reached Daniel's apartment, Emily suddenly froze near the door. "What happened?" Daniel asked. Emily slowly looked at the hallway. "He is here," she whispered. Daniel turned around quickly. But again, nobody was there. Trying to calm her down, Daniel gave her warm tea and a blanket. A few minutes later, Emily finally began to relax. Then suddenly, the television turned on by itself. Static noises filled the room. Daniel grabbed the remote, confused. The screen flickered for a few seconds, and then an old photograph appeared on the TV. Daniel's face turned pale. The photo showed Emily standing beside a woman. But the shocking part was the date written below the picture. 1998. Daniel looked at Emily in disbelief. "That's impossible," he whispered. Emily slowly looked at him. "My mother still thinks I'm alive," she said quietly. The room became silent. Daniel's heart started beating faster. "What are you talking about?" he asked nervously. Emily's eyes filled with tears. "I died 20 years ago." A loud knocking sound suddenly echoed through the apartment. Bang! 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 Daniel jumped in fear. Someone was outside the door. Emily immediately stepped backward, terrified. "Don't open it," she screamed. The knocking became louder. Daniel slowly walked toward the door. His hands were shaking. When he finally looked through the peephole, he saw a woman standing outside in the rain. She looked exhausted, frightened, and desperate. It was Emily's mother. Daniel slowly opened the door. The woman instantly looked inside the apartment with wide eyes. "Where is my daughter?" she asked desperately. Daniel became speechless. He turned toward the living room. But Emily had disappeared. Only the blanket remained on the chair. The woman entered the apartment quickly. "She always comes here," the mother whispered while crying. "Every year, on the same night." Daniel could not understand what was happening. The mother introduced herself as Sarah. Then she finally revealed the terrifying truth. 20 years ago, Emily disappeared near the old abandoned house outside town. Police searched for months but never found her body. After years passed, strange sightings began happening across the town. People claimed they saw a little girl crying during storms. Sarah believed her daughter's spirit was trapped. Daniel sat there in complete shock. Suddenly, the lights inside the apartment started flickering again. A cold wind moved through the room. Then Emily's voice echoed softly from the darkness. "Mom." Sarah immediately began crying. "Emily," she whispered. The hallway became darker and darker. Then slowly, Emily appeared at the end of the corridor. But something was different. Her face looked pale. And behind her, a tall shadowy figure stood silently. Daniel felt pure terror. Emily looked terrified. "He followed me here," she whispered. The shadow slowly moved closer. Sarah screamed. Daniel quickly grabbed a flashlight and pointed it toward the figure. But the moment light touched it, the shadow disappeared. Emily collapsed onto the floor crying. Sarah hugged her tightly. For the first time in 20 years, mother and daughter were finally together again. But the nightmare was far from over. Emily revealed that the shadow was the spirit of the man responsible for her death many years ago. A man who still haunted the abandoned house. And now, he wanted Emily back. Daniel knew they had to end this once and for all. The next night, Daniel and Sarah decided to return to the abandoned house with Emily. Heavy rain covered the roads as they drove through the dark forest. The old house looked even more terrifying than before. Broken windows, rotten walls, and strange whispers coming from inside. Emily stopped near the entrance. "He's waiting," she whispered. Daniel held a flashlight tightly as they stepped inside. Dust filled the air. Every floorboard creaked loudly beneath their feet. Suddenly, Sarah noticed old photographs hanging on the walls. Pictures of missing children. Then Daniel discovered a hidden basement door. Slowly, he opened it. A terrible smell came from below. As they descended the stairs, Emily suddenly froze. Tears rolled down her face. "This is where he killed me," she whispered. Sarah collapsed in pain after hearing those words. Then suddenly, the basement door slammed shut behind them. Darkness covered the room. A deep voice echoed through the basement. "You should have never returned." Daniel turned his flashlight toward the corner. The shadow figure slowly emerged from the darkness. Its eyes glowed unnaturally. Sarah screamed while Emily hid behind her. The spirit rushed toward them violently. Daniel grabbed a metal pipe and fought desperately. Everything around them shook violently. Old furniture crashed across the basement. Emily suddenly pointed toward an old wooden chest. "My necklace," she shouted. Daniel quickly opened the chest and found a small silver necklace covered in dust. The moment Emily touched it, the room exploded with light. The shadow spirit screamed loudly in pain. Emily began glowing brightly. She looked at her mother with tears in her eyes. "I'm free now," she whispered softly. Sarah cried uncontrollably. "I love you, Emily." Emily smiled peacefully. Then slowly, her spirit disappeared forever. The storm outside finally stopped. The house became silent. And for the first time in 20 years, the nightmare finally ended. Daniel and Sarah walked out of the house as sunlight appeared through the clouds. But some people in town still claim that during rainy nights, a little girl can sometimes be seen standing near the road. Not crying anymore. Just smiling peacefully before disappearing into the darkness. And if you enjoyed this emotional horror story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with your friends for more mysterious stories every week. Thanks for watching.